We got another gun, we should say weapon. Come on, task and purpose. Nicholas Slayton says has gone missing at Camp Lejeune. Now, this is nothing new. The Marine Corps reported, I believe, only a few months ago that they'd actually lost several thousands of weapons. Now, there was a case where there was North Carolina, there were 2 weapons or rifles that I believe were lost, and essentially they were Liberty items to even leave. But I don't know what happened to those. They were lost, and they were looking all over base for them. Now, it looks like here, only 2 days ago, something similar. It says, a Marine Corps battalion has lost track of one of its pistols, which I'm surprised is a pistol out of any. The 2nd Marine Division's 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines confirmed that a Sig Sauer M18 handgun, as well as 2 magazines for it, are missing at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. It is the 2nd time in the last 5 years that a firearm has vanished from 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines. So what that means, to give you guys context, someone's losing their rank, someone's losing their head, someone's going to be wondering if they're still in the Marine Corps after a little bit, okay? Let's be honest. You lose a round, you lose a rifle, you lose a M9, whatever it is, just plan on it. That is what they teach you in boot camp, and that is why it's so important. Also why whenever you are training with any of these weapons, where is my weapon at all times? And if not, if you're not physically having it, you pass it to Buddy. Buddy has it. You go to the bathroom. Buddy gives it back to you. You have it. That's how this works. But I guess the common sense isn't there. It says Navy Criminal Investigation Services are looking into the matter. Military Times first reported on the news following a post on a popular social media account, Terminal Lance, which, by the way, I would say is the vanilla version of Not in Regs. If you have seen Not in Regs, go check it out. It's hilarious. The post suggested more than 1 pistol was lost, but a spokesperson for 2nd Infantry Division told Military Times it was only 1. The gun was reported missing on Thursday, January 19th. So, I don't see, I'm confused, unless there was an update where they found more, why they would lie and say there was only 1 versus 2, unless there was a mix-up from what was reported from the command to public affairs. And now this is what we're getting. And we've seen that before. And if you pay attention to the news, you'll see multiple executions of what they actually mean as, this public affairs could be specific to Camp Lejeune versus Marine Corps headquarters versus whatever. You got to piece together, and hopefully they're all on the same track. Second time in recent years, a weapon has gone missing with 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines. In December 2019, 2 rifles assigned to the battalion, went missing at Camp Lejeune training site. NCS and the unit began searching for the guns, while their disappearance prompted 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines to become the source of several jokes inside the Marine community, so much so that Terminal Lance posted on missing the M18 noted the unit lost stuff, quotations again. Now, a lot of people got to commend the Marines. They're one of the smallest branches, obviously, 150,000 people, and, they're in groups of 3. And as somebody that has been with the Marines before, we can talk about this. Marines they're in groups of 3. Yeah. 1 MEF, Pendleton, California area. 2 MEF, North Carolina area. 3 MEF, you got Okie and all that, right? It's always in groups of 3. You just know it, and you can narrow it down very quickly where people have been. And there's just not that many places they can go, and it's just very easy to know who's who. And so I'm curious whose head is rolling for this. Now, probably we aren't going to see the same person that probably was in trouble the first time for this in 2019, because it's been enough time that they probably PCS and went somewhere else, and they're laughing at the guys that are now here if they're still in the military. But, it says, in March of 2020, Commander and Sergeant Major of the battalion were relieved of duty, says, due to loss of trust and confidence. Yep, like I said, losing your career, losing your rank, we'll see. Although the Marine Corps did not say it was because of the lost rifles, it also is not clear what the status is on the NCS investigation into those missing rifles. It says the Marine Corps adopted the M18 in 2020, replacing older pistols such as the M9 that the Corps had used for years. The gun is a compact version of the M17 that is used by the Army, which, I'm curious as to why a pistol. I mean, my time in the Marine Corps, even, being a doc and not being allowed to have a rifle. You can have a rifle, it's fine. Geneva Convention, am I right? Can't shoot back. Pew pew. Fire superiority is the best form of medicine. You got to kill the bad guys. So us having an M9 and M18 doesn't really seem likely, and I don't know many Marines that carry them, or even have shot them, because they do qualify on their M16. So I'm a little confused as to why they would do this, but it is what it is. Somebody checked out the armory, and that's where we're at. Unless he says, missing weapons have been a recurring problem for the armed forces. At least 1,900, I said almost 2,000, were lost or stolen between 2010 and 2019. The majority being rifles, followed by handguns, which I said because most people are shooting rifles. Approximately 1,300 of those lost weapons were assigned to the U.S. Army. Wow. Throwing the Army under the bus, right? Watching you, Army. You guys are sketchy, man. You guys got that one kid that was trying to sell vapes out the back of his trunk going back to boot camp. Maybe they're hustling weapons. Who knows? Most recently, the Army's National Training Center at Fort Irwin lost a M240B machine gun in 2020 of August. Army Criminal Investigation Division even put up flyers for the lost weapon because we all know somebody was going to return that sucker. Yeah, that was not going to happen.